Hi, Taurus. All right, happy autumn. Happy opposite birthday. There's so many things. Once I sat down and put intention around it, like the green, there was a green light. It's okay, this feels good, this feels right. So trusting your intuition. Everything just started to flow very easily. I'd like to mention something off to the side before we jump into your reading, because you have played a huge component in my healing, in my ability to help others heal. I have Chiron there, so it's very sensitive and eye-opening, and I appreciate you. And in inspiration of all this healing, most of you know I used to have a dog named Zumi, a friend named Zumi, and she's no longer in this dimension, but I made a deck of cards in honor of her. I'll put the website below, and if you want to check it out, please feel free. Yeah, it's you are art to me, and that's also how I'm inspired by Taurus energy specifically. Taurus and Sag mixed together is a cool combination of art. But yeah, I really enjoyed creating it, and I'm very excited to be able to share, and thank you again for being a part of that journey. Okay, now Taurus, so messages for Taurus, for the collective. Where do we want to start? Have you noticed this, especially those of you who are into astrology? So I put all the planets that are in the signs, and Leo is the one space that's clear. And I actually wrote down cleared karma. But because of this sort of energy, it could feel as if a person is surrounded, or it's like they're within this particular field if they want. That's where you can make space. And actually, we've been talking about this for maybe years now, right? Like, what do you want, and how do you go about getting it? So one thing at a time during this time frame. There's also one thing in each house, mostly, or in each room. And then I wrote down stars and houses. And there's some sort of help that's also coming through the moon. The moon is exalted in your sign. When I chose from the Death Doula deck, we received the card specifically of the moon. And originally, I like to face a particular direction when I read. It's just sort of natural to me. And this time around, we're facing like a different direction. We're in the same place, but we're just facing a different direction. And once we did that, like changed it, can you see that there's also like this moon right here on the stone? So that's important, your moon sign. The moon changes signs every 2 days. So again, I heard take your time with certain things. And I specifically heard someone say, when I was at the end of your prayer, I took a couple extra moments, even though I felt ready. And I heard this soft voice that said, give yourself a moment to breathe. To maybe look even to your periphery, to the direction that you're standing now, right? Because I sort of saw like a circle, but it was like the seat and where you were could only face like one direction. So it's almost like someone got off the ride. Oh my God, we've been talking about this for what? God, that's 5-6 years ago. Do you remember the merry-go-round? It was like you get off the merry-go-round. which had its footing in how we respond, how and when to give energy and to respond, and who to take care of, and who to feel really responsible for, allowing other people to walk their path, being brave in your own steps. Okay. Good talk. Children are also emphasized. There could be like children or child spirits around you. Remember, we all have a spirit guide that is very much a child. So that could also be like your inner child creating during this month is also really beautiful. It could be a way of healing. It could be a way of just having fun, however you want to take it. Which brings me to this point. So it's like all these past points are now, we're aware of it, but we're not like living back there. We are here now. But when Uranus first went into Taurus, you had this reading, there was like chainsaws all the time. It's like they were cutting things down, making space, what have you. When I sat down to do this reading, they're actually building. Instead of this deconstruction, we are constructing now. And particularly, there's like a 5.5 year span averagely, but there's now construction, and it's actually built. Now they're sort of just putting the fine touches on the surroundings of it before it's like fully occupied and like lived in. Do you know what I mean? So there's that. Oh yeah, and then deep, which turned into this, I saw depth, and that has to do with intimacy. And then I looked up and saw that I cleared karma and then surrounded. So it's like you decide, if you clear a space, again, you decide what you want to enter and exit it, right? Before we jump into your cards, one last thing. When it came to your security, could be your job specifically, but your security, you want to keep steady there. And I heard someone say, it's okay. Pisces had this too, I believe. And then we went into this soul shift. I wrote down the word soul shift. That's your 9th house. I also heard again that same voice that said, it's okay. And this reminded me a bit of Azumi. And one of her lessons that she taught me, which she was a rescue and went through a lot of unnecessary trauma and abuse, and so for her to finally be in a place where she could relax, I all the time would be like, it's okay, don't worry, it's okay, I love you, oh, I love you so much, oh, it's okay. And even though I was helping heal her, helping her with that situation, only realized, it's always 2020's hindsight, right? It's like even that frequency goes through the person's body that's saying it, right? It's healing for both, always. So maybe that's something you need, or it would be helpful to not only say to others, but also yourself when you need it. Alright, let's actually see what Zumi has to say, right? That was pretty fast. Oh, decision. Okay. So this is Scorpio energy, right? Just a minute. Excellent decisions, water into wine. This deck works best in twos. So, like the yin and the yang, right? I love opposites of each other. It helps me to understand it, right? The other side of it. And now we have pleasure. So it's actually 6 months since your birthday, right? Which means you're at a 180. You're at a, I saw a hairpin turn, or like a paper clip, kind of. Just a sec. Oh, it's actually warm now. Nice. Well, I guess there are decisions in relation to well, I keep hearing someone ask what pleases you. It's definite, something's definite, something's known. I think this is where you're picking up on positive Mars energy, which means it's a person that knows I'm protected. Like, I got this. This position is so comfortable right now. In one part of my body, but in another part it was uncomfortable. I had to straighten that up. Pisces. Well, let's see a little bit more on this. Okay, the moon could confuse you in this time. Maybe the full moon, especially if you have a fire, earth moon. So I guess in ways of decisions, take it easy. Like, you'd want to sleep on it. Like, and I also wrote down, I forgot to mention, like, there's like one last little change where, like, someone decides, like, oh, I'm going to dye my hair, oh, I'm going to cut my hair, or I'm going to do, it has something to do with you specifically. And you can go for it. I actually saw whoever did it, the way the vision came in, they looked good. But it wasn't, like, too extreme. It was sort of something you could go back to if you needed to, but it would just take a little bit of time. Because we want to do things because we're stoked about it, right? Not because we don't like it. But knowing that sometimes we get stuck in that, well, I don't like that. I put myself in this, but I don't like that. I need to back out of it. Well, then that's okay too. But that should be I see in the word infrequent. I love Venus and Pallas Athene up in your 9th house, right, or 8th house right now. This could be a sisterhood. There's a sisterhood. What's this one? Princess of Swords. She's really happy in this deck. So that's the decision. So Princess of Swords is going to say, okay, before I make a decision, I want to ask myself some questions. Hermit. They don't have to be the worry questions like, well, shit, what if this happens? It's like, okay, prepare if need be. But she's more of, what if this happens? You know, like, what if the good? What questions do you ask yourself before you make a decision? Maybe go big, maybe go small. What are the questions? You should ask yourself 2 questions before you. And again, I think it depends on the question to what you're working towards. Like the severity of it. I heard, should I have sex with this person? Should I eat that? Okay. There could also be an air sign. That's very helpful. Let's see, pleasure. This is kind of like the King of Cups, so this is a very loving, mature, very emotionally mature, loving person. Patient. Oh, the Princess of Pentacles. So 2 people meet in the middle. You see this? They're going right towards one another. So maybe that's kind of what it is with certain decisions. Look, you sit with this square, right? This card is centered. There's little things on the side, but like mostly it's centered. It knows where it needs to be. It's in the right place. And right now, although this is loving, it's showing a loving energy or the potential of that. If this is you making the decision and this is what the decision is about, that what it is about isn't facing you right now. So you're supposed to make decisions for yourself, and then I saw God's will. Okay. Because this is where your patience comes in handy, right? Because our biggest strength is our biggest weakness. Our biggest weakness is our biggest strength. Que sera, sera. Go yin yang, right? It's like, so funny. Love Libra. So, but see, if you hold off on something a little bit, maybe it's something till December, which your opposite Scorpio talked about, then it's facing each other, so there isn't any like wasted energy. Because you know how I heard, you know how loving and caring you are, and how you love so deeply, but that can get mixed up with carrying the weight of things that aren't your responsibility. No matter what decision you made about it, you couldn't change it because it would just be like their soul path. Does that make sense? Okay. If you can, when you're making certain decisions, ask a child also, or someone that's younger than you. But I feel like an actual child, like what, I don't know what kind of question you'd want to ask, but it may help. Because this is like, oh, I never thought about that. Wow. Maybe someone didn't know they could make a decision. You know, or decide something. It's not it wasn't out of ignorance. It might have been naivete, but it was just innocent. It didn't know. Now it knows. Because someone knows the sticky, they can easily recognize when it flows. So we had to experience the other side of something to be where we are right now, or where we're entering into. Does that make sense? Oh, did I mention there's like Morocco, India, Greece? I feel like maybe some of you were from there, or that's your heritage, or you enjoy the history of it. That part of the world, I guess. And then I saw someone drawing shapes on a map, like different geometrical patterns on a map. So some of you, are you astrologers? Or getting into that? Four and 3/6. I guess that would be 4 and a third. When you were 4 and 3/4 ago. Okay. Let's use my homegirl Alexandra's deck. Her art is so rad. She's such a rad person. Oh, nice. Those came out pretty smooth. What's this? Princess of Swords. What's going on with that? 10 of Earth. And this person, this happy person, with this happy, faithful person, right, because gold is Leo. Leo is how we get out of the fixed energy astrologically, to me. It's like a portal, right? Hence the 8-8 portal. Maybe that's what people are talking about. Who knows? The point is that it's reminding me of that, is it Japanese pottery art where it's when something breaks, they take the gold and put it in between it? Oh, somebody's been studying their history, like their family, all kinds of things about it. This is reminding me too of what we've been talking about a recent conversation in relation to you standing in a position of authority, but not like being, like a person knowing that everything is temporary. We all take turns. We all have responsibilities, right? But this is someone who's speaking the good news. Look how happy these two air energies are, these two people. Can you see her face? She's like, yeah. And then she's like, yeah, here, hi. Hi. Right? Hi. Bye. Hi. So you've been practicing your yeses and your nos, it seems like these simple points, right? But it dictates the whole shabammy. Good job. So yeah, because air is understanding it and making decisions logically, intelligibly, patiently, right? It's like a judge. You can't just like impulsively do whatever. But this is really positive decision making. And as we have the 10 of Pentacles with that, it seems that you here have done something good in relation to the earth realm, or the decisions that you'll be making, and perhaps particularly two of them, two air signs, the 2 of diamonds. There's something that's going to bring that to you. It's something you're working towards. But if you can see this in your sight, if that's the position, don't be dismayed by how far away you feel or what the steps will be until you get to them. Like, it's good to know, Queen of Swords, Page of Swords, like what it is. But I heard give it a beat. Who said that? Give it a beat, and then give your yourself a moment to breathe. I guess that's what this is also saying. Okay. Woodpecker. Hi, Zini. Okay. Where'd the other card go? Oh, there it is. I don't want to dig too far because it feels really good right now. I feel like we have good information, but we do have 2 cards, and we'll close like that. So the Princess of Pentacles. Five of Earth. And we have another sword creature. You can feel for other people. Okay? That's allowed. Like, sympathize with, feel other people's stuff. But I heard, but you can't do it for them. I guess there could also be somebody that is very close to you that also maybe is not feeling well. I guess that's it. It's just a second. I want to try to find your animal. Hold on. Rabbit? Jackrabbit. It was open-legged, like in motion. Like it was open, but it was sort of paused. And it almost felt like you would jump on the back of the rabbit. Like that's, right, because we can't, rabbits can run faster than us, right? I just saw one when it's stamping its little foot. Which is sort of like a warning symbol, right? It's letting you know, like you hear the vibration of it. So maybe in relation to little things, again, entering and exiting into this new space, because you made, I feel like part of where you cleared the karma is through that Leo space, meaning like your heart, your family, perhaps. I don't know. It's deep in there, you know, and it affects what you want. It has affected it. It does still affect it. Other people affect it because it's natural for a Venusian sign to work around other people's lives, you know, which makes a good team player, but we can't do it too much. I heard, or we lose our own flavor, right? We don't even know, like, what we are when we do that too much, is when you can lose yourself. Interesting. Good reading, Taurus. Alright, I'm gonna leave that like that. Thank you. I hope this was helpful. You enjoyed the soft autumn. It's warm autumn light now. Yeah, and I really appreciate you being in this circle. I mean, all of us to connect is kind of miraculous, right? All right, I'll talk to you next time.